2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's Legends with Russell Thomas.
Let's go to Russell in Newark. What's going on, Russell?
Yo, Legends with Russell Thomas, the return. So first, I have to say, without question, I just had a birthday, and my daughters are mad at me. I turned 21, and both of my daughters are older than me now, so they really have an attitude in my house. So
Nice.
They'll get over it. And right now we have the executive producer working the board. You know, we got to talk about his title. He's giving me a hard time.
Yeah.
Mr. Marcus Endo. We call him Endo.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Legends with Russell Thomas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to cut the info and all that stuff in later. And today we have Mr. Kai. Well, you know what? I don't want to mess your name up. So this is your opportunity to say your name right now. We're just going to roll with it. Go ahead, bro.
I'm Kyle Sekhem.
Kai Sekhem. That's kind of smooth the way it rolls off your tongue. You get the drum roll and everything. You know what I'm saying? So brother Kai Sekhem is the CEO of Refile. Now, I've been there once or twice. No, actually many times. But I want brother Kai Sekhem to explain the origins of Refile and what it is and then where it is, and we're gonna get into it. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, Refal, REFAL Inc. stands for Reconstructing Economics for African Love. One thing about Refal, we come out of African Echoes. And what happened was, when I was used to going to African Echoes, we was getting thrown out of every church after Dr. Ben spoke and Dr. Clark spoke. And that was in the Church of Illumination in East Orange. We went down to St. Matthew's Church in Newark on South Orange Ave. And what happened was Dr. Ben challenged the minister to come with him to Egypt to see the truth. The minister came with him on the next tour, came back, and he asked his parishioners that what Dr. Ben is saying is true and they should come to the lecture series. What the people did in the church was went behind his back and had the minister thrown out the church. So once he was gone, we went up to St. Rocco's. And so in the meantime, when we was at St. Rocco's, I told Brother Nooney, who was the head of African Echoes, I couldn't be part of something and we keep getting thrown out and we don't have our own place. So what I did was took a pickle jar and passed it around every week to raise money and started a membership. And raising that money, we bought the building on 269, 271 South 9th Street in Newark. We had that building for a couple years, and it was just an old ice cream factory, but it was just torn down. So then we went up to Church of Illumination in East Orange in the meantime, because I used to go over to the high school in East Orange. I used to give a talk every month to Dr. Abba Falabi's students. And when we got thrown out, she heard about and called me, and she said her father was the minister at Church of Illumination. So we went up there. When we went up there, we stayed there. After the first two speakers came, they called me in. It was time to raise the rent because we was drawing a lot of people. No problem. A few months later, they called me back in to raise the rent. And then the next year they did it. And for the rent not to go up, I started washing the floors of the church, upstairs, downstairs. I didn't tell my members for a couple months. And then I told them, I said, man, I'm washing these floors every week in here. So one of the members had his two sons come in, and then we would rotate washing the floors just to keep the rent. But after a while, that didn't work, and it was going to go up again. So I told every membership, I said, we're not coming back here. What we're going to do on a little place that we had right on 269, we're going to have our lectures in the parking lot. And what I did, I went down to South Orange Ave. It used to be a little washroom down on the corner there. And I went there and I talked to the manager and I asked them, can the people that come from here, could they please use your bathroom? Because we had no bathrooms. He said, okay, no problem. So for that whole summer, we worked in the building, but all the lectures was outside in the parking lot.
Wow, hold on, cause you smooth. I told you handle follow talking. Once you get that rocket started, it's going on out. So you said this word 3 different times, and I want to be very clear. When you say the Church of Illumination, We ain't talking about nothing else, no third eye, nothing crazy, because I don't have security with me today. I don't want to get too nervous. But I heard that word illumination, so we want to just tell it. That's a church that was in East Orange, and they had a pastor. This wasn't the people that how do you say, lurk in the shadows. These are people that's in the light. Okay, I just want, yeah, well, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but these are the people that was in the light. There was an actual church. This wasn't anything else for right now. Okay, so brother, wait, I've been there, and I don't want to jump too far ahead. But you also have a museum in there now, correct?
Yeah, but let me just go back for a second.
Okay.
It's funny you say that because when we was at St. Rocco's, it used to be the little short white guy who was the Catholic priest there, right? Mm-hmm. We got along with him great, was no problem. Once he passed, the brother came in and had us thrown out on the steps on the same day he came.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
So, you know, when they talk about in Florida and other places, people complain about them not teaching black history. When we teach it and we bring the best scholars in, our people don't even want it anyway.
Wow.
And when you do talk about it, tell somebody the other day, when you talk about the black colleges, I said there's not really any, because if they was black, they wouldn't have Greek fraternities. They'd be African fraternities. You're not a Greek, so why do you need Greek signs? So these are just things that the deep state put out to keep us in check.
Is it true that I was watching something, I don't know. I want to say it was SpongeBob, but it wasn't. The Egypt is actually the Greek word. Is the true name Kemetic?
It's Kemet.
Kemet. Okay.
And what a lot of people don't realize when they talk about the Middle East, there's no such thing as the Middle East. Mm-hmm. You know, you're talking about Northwest Africa and stuff like that. But the whole thing they want to do is separate us from Africa. So one of the things I always say, I try to always speak with what I call African deep thought. And until we re-examine everything that we've been taught, we'll never get out of this. And just like now, when you're asking me that, even the words that we use to describe ourselves. In the building now, I got about a 4-foot, 5-foot poster of a Crayola box. And so here in America, we go by white, black, or whatever, right? So my thing is standards. If that's your standard and you're okay with it, when they got 64 different colors in this Crayola box, why don't you pick a color for all the other ethnic groups on the planet? Nobody is going to accept that. Mm-hmm. The Chinese are going to tell you, I ain't high yellow, I ain't beige, I ain't this or that. I'm a Chinese, I'm a Korean, and this or that. So when they say I'm black or people of color, what does that mean? It has no meaning, but it detaches you from what? Your African ancestry. And that's what the whole tricknology is, that so you don't think of yourself as an African, and the Africans on the continent don't think you as African. And so now they replace that with religion. Religion means to bind up, to tie up, anything to keep you from actually being your natural self. And so I find with our people the biggest problem is most of us don't want to be African. And you know, and it's really simple. Mm-hmm. But I realize inside the matrix, I get along with everybody because to me, everybody is crazy till they prove otherwise. You know,
that's an excellent point of view right there. You give everybody a chance.
Yes, because you know you have to have their love, but you give them a chance. But you know, in this society, they're not teaching the truth anyway. It's all misinformation. So I have a library in my house. Mm-hmm. So the average brother or sister, what type of books do they have in their house? If they have books nowadays. Mm-hmm. So most of the people, a lot of the people getting the information from YouTube and they getting the videos from, let's say, Over This Way, they mostly all our videos. Because First World never did a video. We got the most video library, I think, of anybody on the East Coast.
Where's First World at?
First World used to be in New York, up in Harlem. That was the start of everything. Out of that came African Echoes. But the problem with First World and other places and with African-centered people, they don't want to build institutions. And so, like, I had a meeting with the Mayor Raz a few weeks ago, and they had all these nonprofits, everybody in there. And my son came, and I asked Raz, everybody's on these grants. And so afterwards, I walked up to Raz, and I said, well, when you ain't the mayor no more, what's going to happen to all these people? He turned around to me and said, Kyle, your group, Reefel, is the only black group in Newark that owns their own building, period.
Wow. And that's Mayor Raz J. Baraka.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And so on that paper that I sent you, you seen a lot of the speakers on there, right? I stopped bringing in speakers because what I realized for us as a people, speakers became the institution instead of building institutions. They become like singers. You know, he dropped it, she dropped it, and this and that. But at the end of the day, what's next? And the only way we're going to be able to change a lot of things with our people, we have to have what I call healing centers, where we can go and reteach what we need to teach them so they can learn again. They're not going to get it in the public education. They're not going to get it in other places. If they did, they would have had it already. You know, so unless we want to actually put our monies together, put our time together, it's not going to work.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I had a question, right? Just listening in on what you're saying, and all of my commentary is surface level because I didn't do no research on refile, right? But from the outside looking in, it seemed like it's a lot of different schools of thought, right? So is it a way, or is this a concept of who is actually saying the right way of what actually happened, or the right way of, or is it a collaboration between all the thought leaders and y'all decide like this the move that we gonna move?
I'll give you a good answer to that. I've met and know a lot of people. At the end of the day, most of the people you talk about in these other organizations, right, is this. Talk. I'm not going to tell you. I let anybody, right, I don't care what their belief is, to hold the center as long as they want to do something good for our people. So I don't care whatever you say you believe in this and that, fine with me as long as you want to do something good.
Positive.
Right, because at the end of the day, I know where it's going to lead to. But now, when I just told you, we're the only group that has a building. First World, when Brother Bill was there, he was the head of it. He told me to my face, we'll never get one. Then they got kicked out, and they're gone. So what happens is all the groups that you were talking about, all they do is pontificate on this and that, arguing about something, but ain't building nothing. So when you have this hub right here and this here, I always say this, there should be a healing center on every block next to a church or a mosque. So this way people can have a choice of where to go and hear information. But I'm not going to talk and argue with you because at the end of the day, we got an organic garden that we had 20 children just set up 2 weeks ago. I had the biggest lot over here in Newark right off Springfield Ave that we had with organic grapes, peaches and pears and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, I always say, what's next? It's the work. So I don't care how many books you read. Most of the people that you're talking about read a lot of books, but they stuck in the past. So my thing is the present to the future. What I did just 2 weeks, last Tuesday, I gave a free seminar on money to anybody that wanted it, on how to make money with your money. How do you actually become a brokerage account? What do you get in the bank? 0.1%, $10,000, you get 4%. If you got a 401k IRA, it's all tied to the stock market. Well, my thing is I was telling them, what we got to learn to do is cut out the middleman. I gave them a list of 15 to 20 trading companies that you can actually start to do this and start trading yourself. I'll show you how to do it, show you the different stock, because the whole thing is poor people don't make changes. People with money, how we going to provide for, our family and our race.
Brother Khan, hold on 1 second, bro.
Yes.
We're going to go back because you start rolling with the knowledge. That's a lot of knowledge. I told you he ain't need no prompting. I just want to sat back. But let's go back to the organic garden. Where is the organic garden located at?
It's right behind the building right now. We got 6 organic beds, 4x8 beds right behind there. I was there early this morning watering it. When we leave them here, we're going to water it again. And tomorrow, the young girls and the young fearless girls and little boys will be there, so they'll get a chance. And that was their first time planting seeds, getting something to take home and everything. So that was a beautiful sight, and we videotaped that. My son videotaped it. But that's there.
Okay, so once again, what's the address of refile?
It's 269 South 9th Street in Newark. And then there's a caveat to that.
What's the caveat?
The city give me the lot 3 doors down from the building from where it used to be to use that. But I said before we use that, we're going to make sure we can do it with these beds here before we go to the bigger lot,
right,
and fence that off.
Now that wasn't the villain I used to be. The villain I used to be was 10 17th Avenue, and that was the first precinct. I would come to meetings there, or I would get invited to speak there. But I showed up like you showed up. But you gave lectures. I was just there to answer crime questions. All right. So one other thing I've been dying to ask you, and I didn't want to do it on the instant messenger, at one time when we had a talk at that other place on the corner of Central Avenue and South 8th Street, and my man is there running. He's still my people's former Central Ward councilman, Darren Sharif.
Oh yeah.
Former Darren. That's my people.
The Urban League man.
The Urban League man. That's my man.
I get along. I like him.
Yeah, that's my dude. But you had, when you were talking about the gardens, you also had honey or something, right? You thought I forgot about that, right? Okay, it's enlightening the people, bro.
We used to do hunting and had the boxes set up with the bees and everything like that. But what happened with that was that, you know, have the suit, have the spinner, have all the equipment. Everybody afraid to do it but me. So it gets to be a little bit too much to try to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So just 2 weeks ago, I had a big, 27 whatever inch dumpster, whatever, and we cleaned that all out to put the other new stuff back there.
Okay.
You know, and that's what holds us back. Not just in that, but just in life in general. I always tell people it's FEAR, capitalize R. It's just fear. You know, we always come up with a reason why we think we're going to lose when we can really win. Nobody is smarter, more genius than our people, but fear knocks that right out the window. You know, but that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
With that.
It's easy. At one time, were you a motivational speaker?
No, because I wouldn't get called necessarily.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why
Uh-huh.
is what I said is that if I'm around a lot of organizations and groups, and you announce me and say that I have an institution, we own our building outright, what happens with the other people sitting there?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we living off of ego. They will never come and ask me, well, how did you do it? How can you help me do it?
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the all men's meeting. Now, Raz already said that we the only one on building. They never invite me over there to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I understand what it is. And this is something else like it happened. Like when I'm at the meeting, they might bring all these little boys up and they want to be doctors, lawyers, and this and that. And so I was telling a friend of mine, I said, yeah, but they don't realize the best thing you can do is own that building that they got to pay rent in, because they all renting from somebody, but we don't think about institutions. So everything happens in institutions. We don't think about how do we live rent free. How does somebody pay for your mortgage? Like when you see me come up, how does somebody pay for that car? How does somebody pay for this? Now, my son, just to go a little further, he used to be a teacher in the new school system. Now he got 4 buildings. He ain't got to work for nobody. Because at the end of the day, it's how do you have your money work for you instead of your hard labor working for you?
The first person I ever heard talk about Bitcoin was this gentleman right here. Mm-hmm. The first person, that was what, about 6-7 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
We was at the Urban League,
yeah.
And you actually he was talking about a bunch of topics. And he said, I can show you, and you had somebody that was actually into Bitcoin, was breaking it down. Cryptocurrency is what you call it.
Yes.
Cryptocurrency. So I remember a little something. And you was like, well, it's not all on me, but I know somebody. And if you want to learn, I'm willing to teach you or get somebody to teach you.
Yeah, well, I had gotten into mining.
Yeah,
you know about that, and brought a machine into mining.
Mm-hmm.
I had turned it off when it went down because it runs 24 hours a day,
right.
And all the cars you got in there, your electric bill be like this. By the time the end of the month, it's like this.
Yeah.
So I'm looking back to turn my machine back on again.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and that's the thing. It's all various streams of income.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just one. You have to try to learn them all, and all you really need is one to hit. When I gave the lecture on money, one of the brothers sitting in the front told me he had Tesla that was $1,750. Now, what happens is whenever you deal with buying coins and this and that, people don't realize your personality go with you. Mm-hmm. So when you live in fear, if it go down to 12 or 13, you sell.
You jump out.
He jumped out, and I showed him exactly what it was the night before.
And where it went
It
back
was
up.
like $265. And I said, now, with your $1,000, whatever you had on there, what would it be worth now if you'd have just hold on? And so he actually came 2 days ago to the building and asked me to set him up on E-Trade. My best friend came to my house, asked me to set him up so that they can learn. And what we're going to do, you may be interested in, is that we're going to put teams together.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get quotes every day, this and that, and this and that. But no, what you like, we need to get a quote, you get a quote, and we're going to present it and put it on like the big screen, and everybody can decide. We can either buy as a group or you can buy individually. Because my thing now is how do we make all our members multimillionaires? You know, how do we do that? As long as this is the economy, this is what it is. And like I try to tell people, gold and silver. You should know gold and silver. Silver is the poor man's way. The richest gold is another level. But gold is $20 and maybe some $22, an ounce. We need to learn that and have it. Everybody here needs to be in the prepping and be able to have something stashed somewhere when the money goes out. And you don't want to deal with that digital currency. You don't want tracking like that, But we need to learn these different things and then teach them to our children's children's children. And even now the young supposed to be coming out. The Chinese money. The Indian now today said that they want to do their own money.
See, there's a lot of things going over here. 135 Prince Street. Legends with Russell Thomas, that Hub Life Radio. We got Brother Casa Kingway, CEO of Refile. We got Indo. I'm just going to call him Indo because Indo, when I say his whole government, he give me that evil stare. So that's executive producer Indo. He's pressing the buttons right now. You got the security in the corner, Ron in the corner, just chilling, shaking his head. He got good taste because he rocked the nice fitted camouflage bucket hat. We will go somewhere and go fishing after this. You wear it low. That determines your ego, your status, of how you really live. And you see how low it is? He back in the corner. He ain't saying nothing. He just back there smiling. Brother Ka Sekhem Way. Smooth like that. I told you, it didn't take him much to get started. Didn't take him much. And this gentleman, I think I met, and I want to say around 2015, he's been going strong. And he would come, and all you had to do was tell him you want to learn about something. And he'd tell you the Kemetic way. He explained it to you. He break it down, whether it's self-sufficiency, currency. Listen, when he told me about the honey and the bees, I was like, oh my goodness, this joke is we can make a little bit of money with the syrup. But my former place of employment, that other lifetime, they had me on some other stuff, so I had to wait till my time come through so I can come in here and bring people forward that have all kind of talents. And this gentleman can talk. So brother, so you got the one property. You say your son got 4. So at least you're gonna have to get another bigger property.
Well, I got the commercial building.
See. He threw that up there. Where's
that's up it. To you.
Refile the commercial building. It's no more what do they call them? Satellite refile buildings.
We thinking about that, but
don't let the fear get you, bro. Don't let, because you talking about the fear.
No, what's happening is, remember I said the lot? It all depends on what we want to do with the lot. One of the things with the lot, we wanted to get into maybe aquaponics, where we can start growing our food 24/7 year round.
Okay.
Because the thing now is sustainability, and they call it prepping.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be probably one of the best things to do, because we have to be able to just not only feed ourselves, but able to feed whoever we
the community.
Can. Right.
I
so
hear you.
That would be one of the best things.
Okay. So you used to have meetings? You were part of the the greater community heights over there? Because it used to be rest in peace, Mr. Dorian Johnson. He was the president.
Oh, Fairmont Heights.
Yeah.
That's my man.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I missed him.
With that deep voice.
Yeah.
God bless him.
I really miss him. He was a great brother to me. Real great, real great elder. Well, out of the Fairmont Heights, we have Miss Modeling. And Miss Modeling comes and she'll be there this Saturday to do the Fearless Young Girls program with the young boys. Mm-hmm. She comes every second Saturday of the month. But I'm talking to her now about being part of that Apollo thing, the amateur hour and everything like that. And how do we incorporate more young people into the programs? And to go back to answer your question about the different organizations, I tell you, what you really find with our people, it happened with my son, with his best friends, it happened with me, is that when you want to find if they're serious or not, tell them, like what Brother Russell's saying, we want to get a piece of property, we need everybody to bring $500 to $1,000 to the next meeting. Because money talk. So what happens is we used to talk as long as it's free. But to move forward, nothing is free. And so that's why you see everybody talking about somebody else, but at the end of the day, what do you have? My thing is, for us as a people, you got to have standards. Not that the Europeans said, we don't have our own standards for manhood and womanhood. So whatever they say, we just go with it. No, you can't just go with it. We got to have end standards to save ourselves, you know. And so I put standards on myself, and I put standards on that. And so I realized too that it ain't even so much about color, because the people that get to you most is going to be your family and people that look like your color, you know. So it's their conscious spirit. If all black people was good or white people all bad, all black people ain't good. So that tells you color is just a surface thing, because you can misuse the melanin in you too. So, you know, but you have to be able to separate that type of thing. But at the same time, you have to have your African knowledge of self.
So what's interesting is, you know, you're talking about the melanin, but, you know, whether you have it or you don't, the blood is still red, or technically it's blue. But let's go back a little bit. You snuck in a little something about the Apollo. Amateur night at the Apollo.
Yeah.
So I know you've watched Legends with Russell Thomas once or twice, and you might have seen that we had on this very show the DJ from Amateur Night at the Apollo,
Wow.
DJ Jess, who is, me and him was like this. We go back 30 years. So all you have to do is say, Russ, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z. And he's been a DJ at Showtime at the Apollo, Amateur Night, for almost 20 something years.
Wow.
The only one. He's been here twice. The first time we had technical difficulties. We had his whole crew with him. The second time was during January 6th, when we actually started the show. We were watching in the office back there all of the mayhem going on, and we were talking about this. But anytime you want to find out about Amateur Night at the Apollo, I will make sure that DJ just reach out to you, because he's the one he's the DJ up there.
Haven't reached out to me ASAP. Just like brother here, reach out to me ASAP.
Yeah, and he don't play. He rolls in. Well, this gentleman, Mr. Endo, executive producer Endo, I gotta give him this title. He gets on me when I don't say his title.
Thank you.
He rolls solo. DJ Jess actually has an entourage, because when you're the DJ for DL Hughley and Talent and all them cats on tour, he goes on tour.
Oh.
So, but that doesn't stop what you need to do, because Amateur Night at the Apollo, it has a certain time to film. And right. And then off season he goes and tours with DL. He's DL's personal DJ. So there are many opportunities. All you had to do was say, Russ, see, but I'm the plug. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay. It's all right. And usually, like I say here, one of my signature lines was, as long as I get a 1099 or a W-2 out of it, a W-4, I should say. That's the first thing that come out of my mind. Listen, Endo said, go ahead and say it, because you're going to ask somebody for something somewhere down the line. And it comes out about the W-4, because, I got a little something. I'm on the fixed income, Brother Kai. I need to, get a little something. Fixed income. They rough on the brother. But anyway, back to what you're saying. The self-sufficiency is major part. And you have to understand that unless you understand the system, you can't move forward unless you understand the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's up to you. And people like you that can teach, that can take the steps and say, no, I understand what you want to do, but you can shoot for the moon, but let's get in the rocket ship first. Let's get the pilot to take us there. Let's understand that once we get to the moon, we want to land on the moon and keep it moving, and then we want to come back and get a bigger ship. We don't want to be in no submarine where it's issues or nothing. And because first of all, I don't have $250,000 to be going down stuck in some madness. But I'm getting off topic. See, I told you I go off the rails sometime. But once we get the pilot for the rocket ship to go up there and figure out what we're going to do on the moon and get our stake, make sure the pilot can come back, and then we can build a bigger rocket. We can build a bigger rocket and take more people. Right. And that's what you seem to be doing. You're not the bus driver. What is the 21st century? This is the new millennium. You got the rocket ship, bruh. It's the shuttle reincarnated. So we got to get enough people behind to do what you do, right? Okay, so I had to go on a rant. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I had to get that 1099, the W-4 in there, because it's just my nature being on a fixed income. So what are some of the things that you offer in Refi? I know you have the young lady that teaches the women program every second Saturday. What else?
We have yoga every Saturday.
Is it hot yoga?
It's chair yoga.
Oh man.
She's the best teacher in the state, bar none.
Really?
She takes it to another level. She even does yoga for your brain with them. Yoga for your eyes. People they never seen it before.
Oh wow!
You know,
I got nothing to say for that one, bro.
She takes it all to another level. And like this week, she'll be giving out some special things and everything. And her name is Catherine Hill-Lear, but she's totally awesome. We used to do more programs, but now what happened in June, I call it New Beginnings. Mm-hmm. And New Beginnings, we cut out a lot of things. One of the things when you talk about the 1099, I just turned down with our group a $400,000 to $500,000 grant that was approved for us, you know. But everything isn't for you, and so sometimes you can't let money be the riding factor, because you can wind up losing everything chasing that dollar, and somebody else in control of it, but you.
That's facts right there.
Right. So what I do is I have my organization. Everybody get to see the papers and read it themselves, and they vote. You know, like that. Mm. So this way, everybody's on board one way or the other, and this way we can move forward. You know, so I know that. And so my thing right now, it isn't so much I'm against it, but I'm more of a Marcus Garvey man. We need to do for self. When you do get these grants and stuff for these 1099s and stuff, they already got their stipulations. We need to have, remember I said standards? We need to have our own stipulations and standards. It isn't that we don't have money. It's just how we spend our money and stuff. So if we was just, like when I was talking about the stock, I was showing them stock that's less than a penny. Mm-hmm. And so beginning stock, and then so from $1 to $5, I said, well, anybody can do this. You put $10 on here, you might get 2,000 shares. And so what you do is, this is the same thing I'm trying to say about organizations, is that you put a little bit in, and this way you don't have to worry about not sleeping at night, worrying about, you're not going to sleep over or worry about $20, because when you go out to eat, it's going to cost you more than that. Right. And so that's how, like you said, you get in small where you're comfortable, and then you work your way. And it'll last you longer than playing the lottery, because that's gone today and tomorrow. Okay. But that's the whole thing, is if we learn to make money with our money, then we can fund ourselves. And I'd rather we fund ourselves with like minds. See, I know so many brothers and sisters who call themselves adults have came to our place and this and that, and they say, I remember we used to call it Sekhem University. Sekhem is the oldest name of the first university in Kemet. Mm-hmm. Right? So we changed it after we had a little inside turmoil. And we put Refal up there. Okay. The people who own the building. So one brother came to me and said, I remember when this was Sekhem University, because I used to have the new Black Panther Party used to come in there and meet every week. Mm-hmm. So I said, yeah, but we had to change it for some reasons. Now that we changed it, when was the last time you or people you know gave $1 to Refal? Or you going to wait till we go out of business and then you're going to tell people, I remember when it was what I said, see, in the church, they going to send, my mother used to put her little ties in that little yellow thing, mm-hmm. even when they wasn't going, and send it in. The African Center people claim to be conscious is just talk. It's just talk. They're not building nothing, and they're not sending nothing that somebody has built, because it's still on that ego. It's about me, you know. And so that's why when you ask me what's going on now, I'm more selective on who and what I bring in, because to me it's not about me, it's about us. So when I meet a brother or sister like mine, I'm trying to think, well, how can we somehow work together to do it? In fact, in the final analysis, brothers, I always say this: sometimes we might have to do like some of them other groups. You know, the so-called Jews and other groups, they separate themselves from other people. They buy a whole community. Mm-hmm. Well, that's how it was in Rosewood. You know, and the black thing. Everybody wasn't there. You had to have a certain frame of mind to be there. And we may have to say, well, shoot, we had to pick up and leave from the nonsense to create what we want, what God has made for us to have.
Yo, listen. So
Does that make any sense?
It makes a lot of sense. I would call you a source of knowledge, but they're on Broad Street, and I think you probably do a nice seminar there as well if you wasn't it. Where's Refal at?
269 South 9th Street. I kept him in business.
Ooh, I think we might have to have a part 2 on that one. Yeah. We might have to have a part 2 on that one, because I'm gonna stroll in there. So you know what? I'm walking. See, I know who kept y'all in business.
He know.
Yeah. He said he know.
He know.
Okay.
He know.
That's what's up. So brother Ka Sekhem, CEO of Refal. I want to call you chairman of money, but I can't call you the chairman of money. We just get the monetary lessons in, self-sufficiency, a little bit of everything. Sort of like you went from being a beekeeper to the money keeper to the money holder to the money grower.
Money printer, right?
I'm trying to tell you, building like that. Now, and I put him in a rocket ship, going to the moon and taking everybody up there. That's a talent, man. You know, you have to have that. You have to have that focus of mind to be able to, in the discipline, to be able to bring where you've been. When did you purchase that building in the Refile building?
That was like in 2010, something like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
13 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, might even be a little longer than that.
13 years and still be the only place, the only organization that owns its own building.
Right.
So you were a trend center not too long ago, bro. You still setting trends.
I was about to say either that or you got a real good lawyer.
Oh yeah, you got right, because people get edged out,
right?
Property get missing. You know what I'm saying? Deeds get changed. All right, so I think what we need to do is we need to have a part 2 of this. So we're gonna work on your schedule.
Just let me know.
See, I told you, my man was like, yo, and I told him like 6:30ish, and we had to reset up everything. You know, there's a little change in the here. We're gonna put up the wall. See, I was supposed to get a banner and have everybody come up and sign the banner. They keep changing the setup up in here, so I'm gonna have to find another wall and get everybody come up and sign the wall of fame. Get them to sign it like you did outside in the hallway.
We had a few people come through that we need to come back and sign the wall of fame.
A whole bunch of people.
We had, what's the young lady who was the lawyer that was here recently?
Miss Norton, my cousin, Asia. She's a lawyer now. She passed a law school, and I got to call her. She doesn't. I keep getting her traveling secretary because she keep traveling. But what I will do is I'll send her a text and see how. If she was willing to come back with a newfound status of a Juris Doctor of the law degree and all that good stuff. Yeah, congratulations. Plenty of people that we need to come in. And Brother Kai, we want to make sure that you come back here. We'll do a part 2, and then maybe we'll. I know you want to talk to my executive producer about something. You know, but that's on y'all work out.
Whatever you choose to bring me to.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to put it together. It's nothing but love and opportunity, and time.
Thank you.
For real. But this was dope. It's very knowledgeable. I'm into trading and stuff, and you one of the first people that I've heard that's talking about knowledge and sense of self, as well as, financial sensibility and stuff, too. So I'm very interested to hear you on that.
Can I share this with you, Indigo?
Yeah.
Is that...
Well, Indo, but yes.
Indo. Indigo means black, too.
Right.
Indo. Is that what happened inside the African Center movement with most of the speakers, right? The early ones, they died broke and they died in bad health. That let me know then that history is not enough.
Right.
You got to cover your health and you got to cover the money aspect. And that's what a lot of us don't realize, is that in this, where we at in this world, is going to take some type of money.
Right.
Even if you're buying corn as a commodity, it takes something.
Right, you gotta have something.
But we haven't been taught that. So you can spout off everything you want, and then like one of the brothers I knew, he died in his driveway. Things happen. I used to be Dr. Clark's bodyguard, and his health, was going blind and stuff like that there. And so I realized the importance of money a long time ago. And then when I got in here, I just figured we got to transfer that to here. I'll tell you this, though. When I did the thing on economics for some of the members that have been with me since the beginning, I apologized to them because I said I should have been giving these classes. Refile got started in 1999. I should have been giving them in 2000 to everybody. But I was just focusing on bringing the speakers. But, that was really not the right thing to really do. The thing was to uplift the people right here and change their lifestyle to another status.
Yeah.
That was so. But sometimes you recognize that at a later time. But the thing is to recognize it and be able to apologize for that so we can move forward.
Right. Okay. All right. So we definitely have a part 2.
That's dope. I'm looking forward to it.
CEO of Refile, Brother Casa Kingway.
In the building.
I need to take your pictures.
He gonna take pictures too. We gonna get you. We absolutely, yes, sir.
I mean, like this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gotta turn it back on.
Okay.
We're gonna turn it on and definitely get the pictures and a little shout out, like a drop or something, you know. A little video,
Yeah, absolutely.
but send us home, right?
Yo, yeah, man. Let me tell you something. This is wonderful. As my executive producer, Mr. Endo, say, season 4 has just started. Through COVID and everything else, I'd like to thank my brother Sekhem, CEO of the Refile, the money manager, the food provider, the growing their own food provider, and giving knowledge to the community in different ways and different forms, doing what he does best. He got his kente cloth on, you know, he was feeling it today. He got a security in the back playing the role with the bucket hat on. That's Big Ron back there. He trying to smile a little bit now.
Big Ron, yes sir.
Yes sir. And for my executive producer, Mr. Endo, I won't say the last name. I want no problems.
Yes,
and I'm Russell Thomas. This is Legends with Russell Thomas, and we're out. Peace.